I'll close this video by addressing the two most frequently asked questions, at least to me, regarding this series and most media depictions of Mormons. Is Devil in the Family fair to the Latter-day Saint tradition? I would argue quite so. I think it was very careful in not painting with a broad brush, both by zeroing in on the Frankie family itself, but also by offering lots of counter examples of people in the Frankie's family and neighborhood who found peace and happiness and health in the Latter day Saint tradition. Even within the Frankie story, you have Kevin Frankie, who is Ruby's husband, who says in the closing remarks that ultimately this is a story of faith and that if you put your faith in the wrong hands, you can lose everything. Those wrong hands, as framed in this story, is Jody Hildebrand and Ruby Frankie's rightward turn, not the LDS Church. I frankly get frustrated when I see so many Latter-day Saints who denounce this show and others as being anti-Mormon, because it just demonstrates that when you are so desperate to use your hammer in order to defend the church against misrepresentations, it often means that everything, even fair depictions like this show, look like a nail. And the final question: how representative are the Frankies for modern Mormons? The short answer is they're not very representative. They are extreme expressions. However, and this is a big however, there are impulses, ideas, anxieties within this story that are rooted to Mormonism, not just the desire to present a perfect image on social media that I talked about earlier, but even the more violent and dark elements like the zombie children or the abuse. We've seen enough episodes in recent years. Think about Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow, covered in the wonderful book by Leah Sawtile, When the Moon Turns to Blood. There is unfortunately a long history of people using elements within the Mormon tradition, whether you want to say they manipulate them or they fulfill them, might come from different perspectives, but are able to create these fundamentalist and extremes ideas that, while not representative in their extreme presentations, are still rooted within the Mormon tradition. Jody Hildebrand's connections programs, these support groups that had thousands of followers in Utah, show how popular her ideas were and that they were tapping into an anxiety that was quite widespread. So I think this story should force people within the Latter-day Saint tradition to ask questions of what within their society is enabling people to come to these extreme solutions.